Yo, what's happening, guys? What's going on at YouTube? Thank you guys for joining me, for tuning in to Rules for Rebels. A couple things I wanted to cover in this video. Tomorrow we have what should be an awesome interview. Today is Thursday, January 17th, so that makes tomorrow Friday, January 18th. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time. So I'm Central Time, Chicago Time. If you're in California, it's going to be 9. If you're in New York, it's going to be 12. I have fellow YouTuber and podcaster JackKnife Finnegan coming on the channel for an interview. It should be fun. We are going to talk a little bit about kind of business stuff, right? Like he has a YouTube channel. He's a gamer, but he also does kind of a lot of different types of content, which I think is kind of cool. He's only been on YouTube for about 6 months, but he's already got, I should have looked at the subscriber count. I think it's 3,000 something subscribers, so it shows how quickly you can build a YouTube channel. He's already monetized, and I don't want to share his earnings because that's something he shared with me privately in a conversation, but I'm going to say his earnings are very, very good for somebody who's only been doing this for 6 months, and especially for his subscriber count. He's killing it. He's making a good amount of money doing it. He also recently launched a podcast, and that's something I've been thinking about doing for a long time. You guys may know Jay Coppola from the channel. I feel like an asshole. Me and Jay's been very active on the channel, and he reached out to me. He's reached out to me a lot, and we actually connected around Christmas time. And I've been just kind of super slammed with things. I haven't had a chance to follow up, but we had talked about starting a podcast. And doing a podcast is something I've been interested in doing for a long time, but I didn't really know the logistics or how to go about it. And in talking to JackKnife just launched a podcast of his own, and it's a little bit different than his channel. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. I just subscribed on Podcast Addict, which is the podcast platform that I use. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. He said he covers like interesting and odd kind of news stories and things like that. He was telling me, I guess there was some story about some guy, I saw it on Drudge earlier this morning. Some guy injected himself with his own semen, thinking it would cure his back pain. Not sure how he came up with that idea. I guess he wound up giving himself a bubble under his skin, and it turned into a big nightmare. But I guess his podcast is kind of covering interesting stories like that. But it was kind of funny. I've been following JackKnife for a while. He does a lot of different content. He does some cooking videos. He heavy focus on gaming. He's a huge wrestling fan. He also does some kind of gig economy stuff. So he'll cover Grubhub and Uber Eats and Amazon Flex and a lot of these type of things. He's very much so an entrepreneur, right? He's not doing necessarily the traditional 9 to 5 thing. He's got kind of an unconventional job, and then also does a lot of this kind of gig economy stuff. He's got YouTube going. He's got some other side hustles. We talked about FBA and a lot of other things, and he's launching this podcast. And it was really kind of cool talking to him. I've heard Gary Vee talking about this Anchor podcast, and I think it kind of dumbs down the process of podcasting. So traditionally you would have to figure out how to record your things and then get your own advertisers and everything else. And I guess, at least from how JackKnife explained it, and I have seen Gary Vee say, like, literally just record something on your phone and it automatically syndicates it across iTunes and all these other things. But JackKnife said, like, as you get more viewers, or more listens on your podcast, it unlocks different platforms. So Spotify, iTunes, this, that. So it syndicates it across everything. Like I said, I use Podcast Addict. I was able to find his podcast on Podcast Addict. So it seems like it kind of puts it across all platforms. I guess they have built-in advertising where, kind of like AdSense or AdWords, you're not having to go out and find your own advertisers. You can unlock it once you hit a certain number of, views and things like that. So, it was kind of funny. I reached out to JackKnife a while ago. I like his videos, and he's one of the realest, most down-to-earth people you'll ever meet. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about his channel. Probably the realest guy on YouTube. I think my Instagram profile says I'm the realest guy on YouTube, so maybe he's the second realest. Actually, he's probably realer than me. But love his channel. He's an open book, really interesting guy. He's got a ton of energy, which is fun. And I'd reached out to him to see if he'd be interested in coming on the channel. And he said yes. So he was very responsive. He hit me back. I hit him back. We decided to kind of hop on a call a little bit earlier today, just to kind of chop it up a bit and see, what we'd kind of talk about, kind of plan it out, make sure the audio and the video and everything was working. And I just planned on hopping on for 5 or 10 minutes to shoot the shit with him. And like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, we're still on the hangout. We were talking about travel. I'm trying to plan an upcoming trip. My girlfriend wants to get away for her birthday. And JackKnife had been to Costa Rica recently, so he was talking about travel. He actually lives in Minnesota. I spent about 7 years in Minnesota, so actually I drug this out to show him. This is a hockey stick autographed by the entire Minnesota North Stars team before they moved. Got to go to a game, got to go in a locker room, got the stick advertised. So I think he's a hockey fan, so I was showing that to him. But we seem to have a lot of similar interests. He's got the YouTube channel. He's doing the gaming thing, which I was recently looking into, kind of helping my girlfriend's nephews get a YouTube gaming channel set up. So I got a lot of good info from him. We started talking about podcasts, and he's got a couple dogs. He's actually got a bunch of dogs. So we were talking about our dogs for a while, and just awesome guy. Really easy to talk to. Had a great rapport with him. So should be fun talking tomorrow. Hopefully we haven't talked out everything that we wanted to talk about. But that should be good. Definitely check it out. A couple other just kind of housekeeping things I wanted to mention. I'm going to be going hard on YouTube, going to be bringing out a lot more content, going to be having on a lot more guests. I'd like to do some traveling and start connecting with some other YouTubers as well. Want to continue to bring you guys some awesome interviews. I loved the interview with Nick the Smoker the other day. Kind of brought me out of my shell, got me used to doing interviews. I think that was the first interview where I didn't look like a weirdo on it. And the conversation flowed well. So I had a great time there. JackKnife should be another awesome one tomorrow. I just recently threw a bunch of garbage. I shouldn't say garbage. I just recently threw a bunch of posters and stuff up on the wall behind me. One thing I wanted to encourage you guys to do is Jay Coppola has recently been kind of dabbling with a lot of art. I know he's talking about opening up kind of a store selling his art. And he had mentioned he's going to send me a painting. And so I wanted to put it up on the wall behind me here when I got it. One thing I hadn't really mentioned much is a long time ago I went and got a P.O. box with the attention of you guys, if you want to, being able to, if you guys do artwork, if you make some cool craft, if you have a product you want to promote, if you want to send me something, especially artwork, I'd love to put some of you guys' artwork up on the wall. If you guys want to send me t-shirts to wear in videos, I'd be happy to kind of help put people on, help kind of get you some attention. Plus, I like free t-shirts and stuff, and I need some more stuff for the wall. So if you guys are artists, if you guys are craftsmen, if you build something cool, if you make cool stuff, and you want to send something my way, if you go to my channel page, I actually do have my P.O. box address there. I'll also put it in the description box below. But if you guys make art and you want to send something my way, feel free to shoot it over. I would be happy to hang it up here, and I'd love to tell people, if you have an Etsy channel or Etsy account or something like that that you want me to mention, and people like your art, I'd be happy to promote people and kind of turn people on to your artwork and things like that. And likewise, if you guys want to send a product out my way, you rolled out new private label product, or you make some craft and you want to send it out my way, I'd be happy to try to kind of promote some of this stuff and kind of share it with people. Let's see. Moving forward, I want to start doing a lot more interviews. I started reaching out to a lot of cool people. I don't know if you guys have heard of, I just reached out to Jesse Itzler on Instagram the other day. He actually hit me back. I don't know if we'll manage to get him on. Jesse Itzler, really cool dude. Check out some of his, search him on YouTube. He's got some great stuff. I think he's been on Joe Rogan. He had David Goggins, the Navy SEAL and ultramarathon runner, come live with him for a month and kind of get him in shape. He's lived with monks. I'd love to have him on the channel. A while back, I had connected with, I feel bad, I'm forgetting his name. I can't think of them. But anyhow, I've been reaching out to a lot of fun, a lot of interesting people I'd like to start interviewing. So I'd like to start doing a lot more interviews on this channel. Like I said, me and Jay are going to be hopefully starting a podcast here together. I may actually start another podcast on my own as well. And that kind of brings me to the other day on the video I did, the interview with Nick the Smoker. Somebody asked if I had a Patreon account. Now, I'd never set up Patreon before. As far as Patreon goes, I just never really saw a need to. I was doing pretty well money-wise. I didn't really want, I kind of in the past kind of viewed it as kind of e-begging. And also with this being an entrepreneurship channel, I don't know if you want to call it ego, but I was kind of like I'm supposed to be this big shot entrepreneur and I'm asking people to donate to my cause or whatever. But, as life has a way of doing, life can really fucking kick you in the balls, man. So, I left my business back in October. My business partner bought me out. It just, a number of things happened. It was kind of time to walk away. And I had a lot of other things going on the side. Not, I was definitely going to take a big cut in income. My income wasn't going to be anywhere near what it was, which was very healthy before. But still, I had YouTube ad revenue. I had Amazon merch going strong. I had some affiliate stuff going. I had a few other things going. And, like they say, when it rains, it pours. And, right after I left my business, YouTube revenue went from as much as $4,500 a month, consistently $2,500 a month. That's down under $900 now, even though my channel seems to be doing better than ever. I don't know if it's slow advertising season or what. I ran into the problems with Amazon merch, where I had some bad actor get a bunch of my shirts taken down. I mean, that income went from like $1,100 a month to, I wound up having to proactively take down a bunch of my own t-shirts, because I was worried about getting copyright strikes on my own content, on my own works. And I actually just made a YouTube video today that'll probably get posted either later on tonight or tomorrow. It's about an hour-long video, but it's about all the kind of Amazon scams and all the bad actors that can get your stuff taken down. So my merch income went from about $1,100 a month to $100 a month. Shopify was making me $600 to $800 a month. They recently changed their affiliate terms. I think my last Shopify payout was like $36. So I mean, like, literally everything that could go wrong all went wrong at one time as soon as I sold my business and kind of left behind the bulk of my income. And so now I find myself kind of in a rebuilding phase. I'm still positive, still working hard, still trying to get things going. But one thing I've been finding is, like, in the morning, I've taken on 2 digital marketing clients, social media management clients. And it's fun, but it's not really what I want to be doing. And I've been trying to build back up the t-shirts, and I find basically what I find is when I wake up in the morning, it's a challenge to kind of manage your own. I used to go into an office every day. It's kind of a challenge being at home, trying to manage my time, focusing on the things that need to be focused on. What I've been finding is when I really need to be working on the social media management stuff, when I need to be kind of bringing in some income streams, I wind up spending most of my day on YouTube and creating content, and it's not necessarily responsible. It's not very disciplined, but this is really what I want to be doing. So, long story short, I set up a Patreon, and I don't expect anybody to donate to it. But if you enjoy what I'm doing, if you want to support the channel, if you want to kind of enable me to be able to focus more time on the channel, I'd love to get some new and better equipment. I'd like to start doing more interviews. One thing I'd really like to start doing is like traveling and visiting people kind of, at their home or at their works. I know I did the interview a couple weeks back with Brian Bounce Back B, and he's out in San Diego. I'd love to go out to San Diego and kind of visit him and do some videos together. I'd like to travel around and visit a lot of people. I know me and Brian Phobos hit me up. He was talking about maybe taking a trip to Thailand. But I'd really like to kind of start focusing more time and energy on YouTube. I'd like to be doing like interviews like every single day. Like I said, I'm looking at starting a podcast, probably again doing the interviews. I do want to keep kind of a business focus, but I kind of like to kind of branch out and get to know a lot of these entrepreneurs and hustlers and things like that as people, as well as just kind of outside of what their business in, and kind of the Nick the Smoker interview. I don't know if you guys are into smoking or like that necessarily niche, but just kind of getting to know somebody in that kind of format is something I'd like to start doing more of. So I decided to set up this Patreon account. Like I said, I don't expect anybody to contribute to it, but if you've gotten value out of my content, if you enjoy my content, if some of the advice or information that I've provided on this channel has made you some money and you want to support the channel, you want to buy me a cup of Dunkin' Donuts. I've actually stopped drinking coffee out. Like I said, my income's been cut a little bit, so now it's Keurig's at home. But if you want to, support the channel, kind of support what I'm doing, help me improve the channel, as well as maybe support some travel to maybe go interview some other interesting people. I do have a Patreon account set up. I'm kind of new to the whole Patreon thing. Still working out how to set up the tiers. So I got a $5 tier. I was going to do $1, but I did a little bit of research on Patreon, and it seems like when you do $1, PayPal is going to take 30 cents right off the top. So 30% of that dollar you give is gone. Then Patreon themselves take a cut. By the end of it, you give $1. I wind up getting 40 cents or 35 cents or 45 cents, whatever it is. And it's kind of a waste, right? Like, most of your money went to Patreon and PayPal, not to me. I'm not really getting much. What's the point of even taking that buck? So I set it at $5 for that reason. So, it's not all eaten up by PayPal and Patreon fees. And that tier is really just kind of support the channel. You want to support what we're doing, create more content. You'll also get back end access to my Patreon dashboard. So, you know, behind the scenes stuff, maybe some talks before interviews. I'll be releasing some videos on Patreon before they go to YouTube. And there might be some Patreon only content that you can only get there. You'll also get, I think it's kind of goofy when people give you like a free flare on comments or something like that, but you will get a special flare on YouTube, as well as special flare on the Rules for Rebels subreddit, which I haven't really promoted much, but that's something I plan on doing in the near future. I'm in the process of setting up a forum, so I'd like to maybe give you guys access to a members only area of the forum. I also have the first one, I believe I called it a silver package. Second one is a gold package. That one is $25. We're going to do a hangout for gold package patrons only once a month. I'm thinking I'm going to do it like the first Tuesday of every month or something like that in the evening. So if you guys kind of want access to a little bit more of a closed, more intimate setting, we're going to be doing that. And then I also set up a $200 tier. If somebody's got $200 a month to contribute to my channel, props to you. I really don't expect anybody to do that. But at that tier, the platinum tier, I was going to do a one-on-one 1 hour hangout every month with whoever wants to donate to that. So again, by no means do I expect anybody to contribute. But at the same time, you know, occasionally I'll get people who like what I'm doing or want to support the channel. And, you know, I'm really not out here slanging merch. I do got the merch turned on below my channel. I got like 3 shitty shirts up there. But I never really wanted to do courses or like take from my audience. So, you know, I pretty much put out everything for free there. I may do a course in the future or something like that. But really, I just want to kind of open it up and make it kind of optional. If anybody kind of appreciates what I'm doing, enjoys it, and wants to contribute to the Patreon channel, I will link to that in the description box below, and I might make reference of it here and there in the future. But basically, I'd like to kind of double down on this YouTube stuff, be able to do the podcast. I had another fun project I was thinking about getting started on, kind of unrelated to this channel, but I was wanting to go to retirement homes and nursing homes and things like that and talk to older people. You know, there's some phrase when an old man dies, 1,000 stories are lost or something like that. But, you know, most of I think all the World War I veterans are dead. World War II, there may be a couple left. Eventually, Vietnam's going to be gone. But, you know, it's so true. When people die off, a lot of stories, a lot of things from the past die with it. So my girlfriend actually had this idea. She had actually suggested I do a podcast where I visit old people homes and retirement homes and talk to some older people from previous generations and kind of get their stories and share their stories in the form of either a YouTube channel or podcast. So I'd like to get started doing that, but really just kind of want to start creating a lot more content, adding a lot more to this channel, doing a lot more interviews, bringing you guys a lot more information and knowledge and entertainment and everything else. So anybody who wants to support the channel, I greatly appreciate it. And for anybody who I know Patreon is kind of a controversial topic right now, with them kind of censoring some people and things like that. So if for whatever reason you don't want to support Patreon, but you want to support me, I'll also put a link below to a paypal.me if anybody wants to kind of donate or contribute that way. And again, I'll put the link to if you guys want to send in some artwork or something to kind of decorate the walls with. We got some new Banksy shots up here. That's actually my dog right there. There's a cool site called shortrunprints.com where you can get 18 by 24 posters printed for like $3. It's not the best quality. You can see it's probably a little bit grainy, but that's my dog Bam Bam right there, and we got some Banksy shots. And my old roommate Terrell actually gave me that Chicago skyline picture. But yeah, would love to kind of decorate the wall with some of your guys' artwork and crafts and things like that. This is I hadn't really planned on this turning into a 20-minute long video. I really just kind of wanted to introduce JackKnife Finnegan's interview tomorrow, which should be amazing. So please join us for that. I'll also put the link to the interview tomorrow in the description box below. So a bunch of stuff down there. So hopefully you guys can join us tomorrow. Should be a good chat, and just wanted to kind of do a little bit of kind of housekeeping stuff as well. So if you guys enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good jazz, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.